Hello lovelies! Got something very special and exciting for you today. Second month running, Sarah and I are doing our Boy Mums Unite. I mean, how crazy is that? We thought it would be like a once in a while type thing, but it's going to sort of do double, maybe even triple duty. So this is a cut file and it's sort of kind of loosely based on the one we did last time. So this layout is, actually no, I should start at the beginning. First Sarah sent me this, as in, she said this is our inspiration piece for Boy Mums Unite. Okay, fine, I can deal with that. And then she said, and we're going to use this cut file from Sara Scraps, and it has to include sequins. She's a hard taskmaster, that girl, I tell you. I can make it work. The combination of the slightly more subtle balls reference, so that combined with the fact that a few years back Max did a season of, the local soccer club offered a program for I think maybe like 12 weeks or something over spring and summer for the kids to sort of try it, because it's sort of autumn winter, that I think February March that they sign up for the actual, you know, joining the club for real type of thing. And since he didn't mind kicking a soccer ball around and hailing from Europe in the recent or more distant past, soccer's a thing. What I thought I would do is scrapbook a whole montage of soccer photos from that season. I mean, and they're from different days. I think most of them are from that particular October. Not going to use all of them. Some of them are duplicated but in different sizes, and some of them I may trim down further. So the way to document this story, because there's not a whole bunch of writing. This kind of reminded me when it said it's an experience, not a description. That's the first thing I thought about, because sitting in a little shelter shed in what can sometimes be, you know, Melbourne weather's unpredictable, and it was freezing some days and my back was killing me. There were all kinds of experiences and feelings, and yeah, all the feels basically related. And then I thought that the balls everywhere, because it's a montage, it sort of really does look like balls everywhere. I wasn't sure what I'd do with these other balls. I mean, some of them are not that common in Australia. Most of these, yes. That one, I mean, we have an egg-shaped football in rugby and Aussie rules, but not like that weird shoulder pad kind of football. We don't do that. And I had to ask Jodie what this one was for sure, because I thought it might be a baseball, and yeah, she said that it was. So I didn't really want to mess with her cut file and start cutting out balls, and then it wouldn't be balls everywhere. I thought, I'm just going to run with it. It'll be fine. The boy mum, though, had to go because I'm not a mum. I'm not even a mum, but mum will be part of the title, because I know when I was using my social Instagram account, I would post photos from the soccer days and I would use, the hashtag was soccer mum. So I think that's what I'm going to use as the title, and this hashtag made me think of that. So all those little things together maybe come up with that story, and that's kind of how my brain works. There's something triggers a whole lot of different little connections, and some of them can be a little bit obscure, a little bit weird, but it is what it is. I mentioned in the last video about Shimelle's class, how Shimelle's doing a sketchy class, and this particular one will be based on sketch number 2, interpretation 3, which is a double page spread. I wanted to use black and white and yellow, because the logo of the soccer club is black and yellow, and I think the uniform they gave the kids to wear for spring summer season is black and white. Oh, and his boots were yellow too. This is the only one I printed in 4x6. That's the nicest one. Other than yellow and black and white, I definitely wanted to bring in a little bit more colour, and I found these things all brought in the colours that I wanted. These two from Bella Boulevard, because stars and sort of sport and other achievey type things seem to go really well. They bring in the yellow, there's a little bit of red, which always adds a pop, and different shades of green, which, considering the photos were taken in different lighting and over 12 weeks, the grass looks really nice in some photos and really icky in others. The green is not something I wanted to even try and match. I'm not sure which one I'm going to use. I want to use one of these three as a large big bit in the middle maybe. So other than the yellow, I wanted more black. So it's Bella Boulevard again, and there's a bonus extra green. This is from Scraps, Amy Tan. And then I knew Amy had a lot of black pad. I think that one's not from a paper pad, that is. But I quite like numbers even though they didn't get official numbers in that particular season. Numbers are sort of something that goes along with that. Pop of red, hearts, wood grain, all from the scrap box, and then some greens. So I'm going to cut those, the branding strip off those, and then cut, I might as well cut all the branding strips off these that could potentially go in the middle and just have a fiddle around and see. Everything's been cut down to size, well the main bits anyway. I've had a play with the photos and sort of roughly figured out how I want them. I'm going to show you the cut file. I decided that I would turn the balls into shakers. The outlines are very, very thin. And in fact the joins of the letters are very thin, which is why now I have two pieces. The outside of each of these is super, super thin, even when it's cut to that size. So it isn't particularly conducive to making shakers, but I had my heart set on it, so I went with it anyway. The only thing you've got to be aware of is that when you place the foam underneath, even though I cut it to say 1/8 of an inch wide strips, it will still show through. So if you look at it, you can see it. But I used black. It's not quite so eye-catching. I should tell you about the sequins that I put in there. I used a whole bunch of BoyMums scrap sequins, obviously. Some of them were slightly frankened. So this one was the baseball, this one was the football. I did it red because Aussie rules Sharon footballs are red, even though that's one of those American ones. This is mostly the basketball, this one's See Your Summer. But I pulled the little black and white spotted ones and threw them into the soccer ball. That summer feeling. This one Sarah designed. I pulled out little purple hearts and didn't use the really gigantic ones, so that's the tennis ball. Midwestern Harvest, I put a tiny bit of that into the basketball, and I put a bit of Carnival Ride into the tennis ball. A fair whack of this Country Market one, except the snowflakes went into the, what was that one again? Volleyball. And then obviously no snow. I kept the flowers, but I didn't use the snowflakes and put it into the soccer ball. I'm a bit disappointed that I underfilled them, because I either overfilled them or underfilled them, and I was petrified of having them burst and create a big huge mess. I didn't go into a process video of how I made the shakers. I will attach a link to a different video that I have where I do show you how to make these. So I'm going to pick one of these big 4x6 for the journaling box, which I'm probably going to put there. Title that the hashtag Soccer Mum will go up there. Photos will go all the way into here, the middle. This will go there, and then more photos across there. Oh yeah, and photo down here. I will probably block photos on larger bits of pattern paper, maybe the black, because I think that would be a consistently good contrast with all the different crazy photos. What I did want to include something, one single pattern, not to go under the whole cut file. I decided to try 3 inches, and that sits just nicely there, and then I can put a little bit more maybe under the Soccer Mum bit at the top. What I want to do now is ink up the paper, ink up whichever card I'm going to run with, get this stuck down onto one of these, and then get the photos down as they were, picture with my phone before I moved them, so I kind of roughly know where they're going to sit, and then get some larger blocks of pattern paper cut, because I want as much of this to show as possible, and I cut it a bit smaller than the 12 inches, so there's a little bit of the yellow top and bottom. So I think I will have this start right at the edge in the middle, and then I'll cut this little bit off. And at least this makes it a lot more stable to move around now. That is going to have to sit pretty much like that. I'm not sure exactly whether it'll run from the middle to the edge, or from the edge to the middle, or what. But it's all about placeholders for the minute. I might put this on its own mat but I'll measure up how big I need to make this block and this block, which I may even cut a little bit longer so it sits underneath, and this can sit on top of. The paper is cut. I hope I've done it more or less correctly. I went with the stars because it was the smallest pattern, and since only a little bit's going to be seen around the photos. I'm going to start by gluing these down, and I'm going to have to bring back the T-square ruler to get it straight. So I want them quite. I'm just going to put one down and then the other one can be done. So I'm going to put this one down next because I want the balls to be right down as far to the bottom of the page as possible, and then that can just slide in underneath. And this I want at the edge and that at the edge. I will put a mat around this big photo. Yeah, I think I'll set them on the teal line. For this one, I'm going to put... Oh, I didn't want to put the adhesive that close there. Oh well. So if I slip it under there, I've got rounded edges here, which usually doesn't bother me so much, but there's not even going to be 4 of them, so I might cut that off. Just line them up. I'll keep them together. This is supposed to be a blocky layout. What's next? Oh, this bit. I'm just going to move this out the way. How about that? Again, this is one that's going to slot in down, but I'm not sure how far down. So I'll start at the top, work my way down, and then whatever's left will be tucked under. I'm guessing it'll be at least this much. So I've been busily cutting down some of these photos because I decided I didn't like the fact that on that side they're all flush against each other in a nice grid-like pattern, and here they're all sort of overlapping. So I'm going to leave a space here, and I might put a strip of something else, and I will just line them up. The only one that will be a bit overlapped or underlapped will be this one, and I might move that one up anyway. This I think is too wide. I'm going to take that down to about either 2 or 2.5. Maybe I need to stick. I'll get the thickers and I will measure. I'm going to have to switch some of these photos around because that's going to take his head off. better. Well, I'm going to cut that pretty much as close to the end of the word as possible. Although, yeah, because I don't really want it to... Okay, that's going to sit on the top. Okay, inky. I like that there's a little gap there. It sits above this photo but still below the edge of that. That's down. Now, I could put more photos actually, because I culled some that I didn't think I was going to use. Let's see what else I've got. Now if I cut that one down, I might be able to get this one. Yeah, I'm going to switch those around so they're not right next to each other. Okay, cool. Together, this is where we're at. Okay, journaling's in place. Those extra photos are done. I did want something to go under here. I've pulled out plenty of sticker sheets, but the border strips are probably not going to be long enough to stretch all the way across, because I think whatever I put here, I should put a little bit over here. So I think the answer is washi. Yeah, it's not really, I wasn't planning on bringing in red, but there is some red here and here, and it probably needs something to make it pop a little bit with all the black, white and yellow. And this one has numbers on it, so it does bring in that number sort of idea. It's going to be an absolute pill to get it underneath these balls, so I'll do that first. Oh no, that's not too bad. Yeah, I'm happier with that. Now, embellishments. I know I've got a soccer ball here. I went through my boy die cuts and picked out bunches, things that in colours that might go. Stars, because I knew that I had star options, words that might work. Okay, well, I need to bring some order into the chaos here and figure out where these embellishment groupings are going to go. So, got loads of room on this side. It makes sense for something to go here. Something needs to go over here, and would be good to have a third one somewhere. Maybe here. Okay, since we've got a soccer ball on this side, next biggest one should go here, and then we've got those ones there, and then we've got the little one can go there. I'm just going to place it. Alright, so I've cut out a bunch of these little stars. Don't really know yet which colours are going to go where, and I've tinkered about with the embellishment groups. This one that was going to go sort of here, I did have to move down, because if I start building it right here, I'm going to end up with the dreaded trapped space. If you want to learn more about trapped space, Shimelle is the guru about trapped space. Yeah, so it's mostly die cuts. I'm definitely going to have to find some non-papery bits. This one, I'm just going to use probably part of that green, and I can move some more of that somewhere. Okay, well, I'm just going to start sticking, because some things I'm more or less happy with, some not. I found this one. Let's go outside. Oh, the other thing I did was I kept looking at this area, and these photos went sort of past this bit of starry paper, and it just bothered me that it looked like, yeah, it needed symmetry. in that spot there. This little Small Bella Boulevard sticker has 3 green stars in a yellow circle, so that's what we will use. That's not exactly, no, that's not really, I mean it's fine, but I still want something else there. There's that goals again, hashtag goals. Yes, let's do that because we've got the hashtag again and we need a bit more of the teal sort of colour on this side because it's turned into just a few colours into let's use all the colours. I think I'm actually not even going to use all those stars. I painstakingly spent time fussy cutting. Look what I found. How perfect are these colours? And there's circles and stars and all the things, so I think that's what we'll use. And even on transparent backing. Thank you, Shimelle. Biggest first. His laces in his soccer boots have the dark blue, so just going to run with it. That's massive. Maybe not that one. That one's huge. If we are going to use this colour, we need to spread it out. Maybe I won't use the circles, but I think some enamel dots. Well, with all the crazy colour chaos going on, I thought some black, white or grey. Now that I'm thinking about it, maybe the grey, because the background to this is grey and there's really nothing else grey. And there's this tiny little bit there. And the grey is kind of a middle ground between the black and the white. There it is. There will be close-ups and all of the rest of that on my blog. Thank you so very much for watching. Please go to Sarah's channel and see what she made with all the multiple challenges she gave me, and do check out Shimelle's class if you like that sort of thing. I will link everything there. Thanks again and hope to see you around soon. Bye!